Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I've got your gameplay for the Harrier GR3. This is a rank 6 battle rating 9.7 attack aircraft, or rather strike aircraft, in the British Air Tech Tree. This is a very good aircraft and is of course VTOL. As you can see, we have the nozzles here for VTOL flight. Now this is pretty much an iteration of the Harrier that a lot of people know and most hate, the Harrier GR1, and in my opinion, despite the fact that this is 9.7 BR, it is a substantially better Harrier than what we see in the GR1, and that is because it is much better balanced. For example, it has better stats overall. It's got better rate of climb, better speed, better turn, well, about the same turning, but it does have a stronger engine, which is very nice. This has the Mark 103, whereas I believe this has the 101. So it is a little bit more powerful, about 380 or 400 kilograms more of force coming out of it, but you also have a radar warning receiver on this and countermeasures. So it is just a better overall plane in my opinion, and thankfully only sits at 9.7 BR. So it is very, very usable in a variety of roles and gets off the ground quicker than, again, even the GR1. Now that being said, let's get into some gameplay here. I'll give you some tips, tricks, and also maybe a little bit of tactics for how to use this plane effectively, and also go over whether or not I think it's worth grinding for. That being said, let's get into it. So let's get this show on the road. Let's get it started right. Now that said, I've got 3 1,000-pound bombs equipped to this bad boy for 2 reasons. I don't need them, I don't need them really to grind. I can grind perfectly well without them. But 1, I have a task and I need to destroy a base. But 2, more importantly, is to show you that this thing can still haul rear end while carrying those. I am way outpacing these F5s. And of course, once I get closer to my top speed, I will kind of stop gaining speed. You lose a lot of relatively speaking, you lose a lot of thrust once you get up to around 1,100 kilometers per hour. Now, the great thing about the GR3 as opposed to the GR1 is, again, this actually has a bit more thrust. I think, like I said, about 10% more thrust. So you will be able to actually get around 1,100 kilometers per hour much better than even the GR3 would, or the GR1 would. And even the AV8A. Well, actually, no, the AV8A does have the same power plant as the GR3. But regardless, it is a very, very good performing aircraft in that regard. So I'm going to drop these bombs, hope that guy isn't there. Now, this plane overheats like a son of a gun. Is he really going to drop bombs on that? I hope not. That would be so rude. Because I called it. Please don't do this. Okay, thank goodness. Woo! Gotta respect dibs, guys. Anyways, let's go into some strengths and weaknesses here of this bad mamma jamma. And when I say bad, I don't mean like it's a bad plane. It's a good plane. But rather, how this thing performs. And so first and foremost, its number 1 strength is its aforementioned incredible acceleration. The thrust that this thing provides is just ridiculous. And you will be able to get off of the runway faster than almost any other plane in the game. Even still, this plane outperforms almost everyone in War Thunder, at least in terms of runway performance. So I might be able to get this with a missile, yeah. Okay, that was pretty easy. That was a gimme. Now, secondly, its second strength. Oh, geez, that F5 is like showing up on my radar. It's bugging me out. The second strength of it, I would say, is its ability to thrust vector. Now, you can do that in flight, and that's something that the Yak-38 does not have. So it's going to be a little funky because I've got my thrust vectoring controls a little funky. But as you can see, I could thrust vector in flight, thrust vector control, 61%. I like to keep it around 10% at most. Simply because, is this a gimme kill? That's a gimme kill. What's going on here? Simply because you do get additional, whatchamacallits, 3 kills. What? You do get additional handling and maneuverability with it, but it doesn't really sacrifice so much your forward momentum, which is really nice. Because you want... Ah, geez, I got killed by an A-10. Anyways, 3 kills. I'll go into the weaknesses in the next match, but really this is one of those few planes, in my opinion, that doesn't have so many strengths, doesn't have so many weaknesses. It's just kind of a weird middle ground. But there are definitely some weaknesses to watch out for, so I'll go over those in my next match, but not too bad for a first match. About a ton of bombs dropped and 3 planes killed, so not too bad. Let's get into the next one, guys. La 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 la. Okay, now we're actually gonna get into the next match. Oh man, I wanted to kill those guys. Man, don't you hate like when enemy teams either they're incompetent or like they just shoot each other down? Almost okay. I guess they must have hit a pocket of bad air. What's going on? It's always premiums too. Anyways, that being said, let's get into some of the weaknesses of this plane. And jeez, what is going on? Okay, let's get into some of the weaknesses of this plane. So, as you can see, I mean, I'm only at 92% throttle. If I were to go up to 100%, see how quickly that overheats? Going to WEP, it's even worse. You cannot maintain WEP on this plane for more than a few moments without it starting to overheat. And after a while, I mean, your engine will truly overheat. So I try not to keep this at anything above, give or take, 92, 93, maybe even 94%, depending, of course, on the map, because thermodynamics and the ambient temperature around you, they do impact your not only flight performance a little bit, but, of course, your engines as well. Now, another weakness is that this thing more or less turns like a brick, which is why I like to have my my thrust vectoring to about 6, give or take, I'd say on average around 6%. It's not the highest by any means, but it's also not, again, enough to really stop you from accelerating fast, accelerating forward at a high rate of speed. So it is very nice in that regard. Now, when it comes to this plane, I'm not really sure if thrust vectoring really does all too much to impact your turning capabilities. Wow, there's a lot of planes up there. I'm going to go up nice and high so they can't touch me. Then I'm going to crash right back down, hopefully. But that J35 has the right idea. Okay, you know what? I might be able to launch my AIM-9 at this guy. I won't be... Yeah. Yep. He's a little far once I get below 3 kilometers. There we go. That might be a nice launch. I do not believe that he has countermeasures, which would be nice and salty. Woo! Yes, please. Okay, so I got 2 missiles left. Like I said, I really prefer to have the AIM-9Gs on this over the SRAMs. In my opinion, the SRAMs just are not that great and are very mission-specific. That guy's going to die, probably. I'll still follow him down because I don't believe the F5 is going to be able to get him. Maybe I won't. Nope. Okay. I took that turn a little too much, but like I said, that is, again, what you will experience with this plane a lot is going to be the poor maneuverability. And, of course, I probably actually had a shot against him a little bit sooner than I probably let on or, you know, took an opportunity for. But, of course, that's what happened. Now, we have completely annihilated this enemy team. So, while there's still some match left, let's go over some basic tactics. Now, when it comes to this plane, I typically like to fly low, kind of around the deck, because at least in a down tier, you are going to be faster than almost every other plane in game. So it is a very nice bonus. I'm going to probably go for this F5, though F5s are not going to be an easy kill for me. But he is coming back around, so maybe. Got him. Nice. Okay, that's kill number 2. And like I said, you really have to make sure that you pull up early with this sort of plane. Not with this sort of plane, but with Harriers in general. I guess that is this sort of plane, because what ultimately happens is you get way too close to the ground and you're toast. It's not... he's still coming. He's still fighting. And that's another... Actually, you know, I'll add that to the weaknesses. The 30mm cannons on this, while not terrible, they aren't amazing, because you will have enemies fly directly through your path, and you will not be able to do anything to really stop it. It's just kind of letting them fly, and that's it. But, you know, that's why head-ons are not really fantastic. But anyways, back to my original train of thought here. I'm not expecting this final person to come out, so I'm just going to fire on this Yak-38, hope for the best, and continue back to the base so I can land and maybe get a reload and change up my ordnance to bombs. Oh, they're gone. Anyways, you know what? I'm going to go into one final match after this. It's going to be a fun match, and then that'll be where I go over my tactics. But I went over some strengths, some weaknesses, and finally go over some tactics, and hopefully the last match will be a little fun. Not too bad. So I'm deciding in this match to climb relatively high, you know, at least for, in my opinion, for a Harrier. Typically, like I said, I like to kind of fly near the deck, but in this battle, I feel like I probably could fly a bit high, but really just to kind of show the variability that this has in its gameplay style. So, pretty much, I mean, what you're going to want to do is, in this way, act as more or less a boom and zoom. Now, it's pretty good at more or less all altitudes up until you reach about high altitudes. Like I said, I mean, it pretty much is just going to fly like a bus regardless. But, you know, when you're just swooping down and you are attacking an enemy and they don't really know that you're there until you have a missile on them, that's pretty much where you're going to work best. And a big reason for that is, again, because a lot of the time you just simply will not have the I'm really surprised that this is not locking. Okay. Really? Really? Okay. You just won't have the ability to outturn these people all that much. Like, I'm genuinely surprised that I did not get him at all. Okay, is he really going to try to do this? There we go. That was weird. So typically when you're way up above everyone else, especially in this plane, you could just kind of swoop down and take them out. And now I'm going to try to regain my altitude here. It really shouldn't be all that difficult in this plane. Well, not all of my altitude at least, but more or less to kind of recreate what I was just trying to do. But if you can swoop down on people, it mitigates your really not good turning capability. And if you can go for planes like the F4C, the F4C is a big target of mine. I love fighting them because they don't have countermeasures. They're kind of big, lumbering vehicles and not necessarily are going to get a much better speed advantage over you just because of the amazing amount of thrust on this thing. Of course, that can be supersonic, whereas you will not be. But if you can manage it well, you can swoop down on them. So I'd probably go for them. AVAAs, F4Ds at this point. Again, another plane without countermeasures. But AVAAs I'd be kind of a little bit leery about because they do have countermeasures. But I'm going to try to swoop down on this guy. Probably should be a gimme kill. Yep, there we go. He's got no energy. I probably could have just gunned him down, really. Easy. Got 2 kills. And swoop. So, I mean, really, I think the best way to play this plane is going to be, at least in a down tier, in a boom and zoom sort of way. That way, I mean, if you're in an up tier, you're going to be showered with radar-guided missiles. But in a down tier, you should be pretty safe from that. Kind of want to go for the Shenyang, but I probably won't have the maneuverability to do so. Yep. And the cannons just do not fire fast enough, typically, to, like, they don't have great muzzle velocity for you to be able to routinely take jets out, at least in a turn. So he's going to try to head on with me. I don't know, maybe not, maybe not. And you also don't want to just continue to spray, because if you do, then you run out of your relatively limited ammunition. So ultimately what I would do is, I mean, your number one thing is just pick on targets of opportunity. Targets that are not going to be great when it comes to maneuvering. Targets that don't have countermeasures. Ooh, got a nice crit. And targets that are typically piloted by noobs. Like AV-8As. Now, you know, certainly not all of them are, and you have a lot of great new players who do pilot AV-8As, but if you can get F5Cs, AV-8As, F4Cs, you're going to pretty much have a good time in this plane. And, you know, typically, oh, I'm really surprised it did not kill someone. typically you're going to do pretty well. I got 18 shots left. I'm not expecting much from this, but if I get close enough, might be a gimme. Maybe. Okay, got a few shots left. Oh, I hit him! Ah, ha, ha. Okay, I'm going to get out from behind him before my ally missiles him and takes him out. Because otherwise, he would have missiled me. Oh, wow, I got the kill! 4-kill match. Anyways, you know, initially I was going to play Air AB for this final match. But I decided, you know what? Air RB, feel like that's what most people play. This will be a good guide. I feel like this is generally, for the GR1, my gameplay here is generally acceptable for really any, or GR3 rather, for any Harrier player. You know, of course, the GR1 has different missiles, you know, whatever. But you have the same general performance between the GR1, GR3, AV8A, AV8C. Of course, the GR1 has the least performing engine out of all of them, but more or less, you should be able to... Oh, wow, I'm really flying off course. You should be able to take this video and kind of apply it if you were looking for some sort of a guide on how to play these planes. So I'm going to land, refuel, rearm. I'm going to equip bombs because you can do that. If you J out after you've reloaded and rearmed, you can actually you can equip different ordnance, believe it or not, if you didn't know that. But I'm going to do that, see what we can do. Hopefully I can get back up in the sky and get another kill or two. But otherwise, well, we'll see what happens from here. Well, that about does it for this gameplay. I was kind of expecting to be able to go back and at least get one kill. But well, fortunately, a hunter on my team got both of the last 2 kills. So good for him. But either way, not too bad. What was it? Like 2 kills, 1 assist, maybe 3 kills in the first match. 2 kills, and then 4 kills to end it off. So not bad at all. Let me know what you guys think about this gameplay. Comment below. Definitely like if you liked it. Subscribe if you want more of this sort of thing. But, you know, certainly, again, thank you all so much for your continuing support. If you watch this video or any other video of mine, it means the world to me. But either way, thanks again, guys, and I will see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.